do we need to banter a little more before we jump in here, or do you need more? Do you need more cold open fodder?
Yeah, whatever. I usually just edit whatever happens, and then I'll fiddle fart around with it. I did this one with Mortal Kombat, and then us going and then the intro music, and then it goes into us just bantering for a minute, and then just like immediately like, let's go smash.
The Sega one was
that was my favorite one.
That was your magnum opus. I will say, it was like the first time I heard that, because I went back and listened to the episode, I was like, yeah, this is your Mona Lisa. This is your Arc de Triomphe. This is your masterpiece. And it was just one word long.
Do we want to do like a podcast? Podcasts never change. To give it a hint.
We made that joke last time.
Can we?
Oh,
wait,
gosh.
How about we leave this full thing as open, but then like right after he says that, we just edit in like 5 seconds of silence.
5 seconds.
and
And then the static noise from Fallout, and then a nuclear drop.
No, I was gonna say, narrator. We stared at Mitch in slight judgment. This is the Retro Smash Video Game Podcast. Wherever you are, wherever you may be listening, thank you for hanging out with us today, live from the Gene Parmesan Memorial Studios. Joining us here in studio today, the man, the myth, the legend, the man that always looks both ways before crossing the street with his own car. He's Andy.
Get out of my way.
Goddamn pedestrians.
I'm out here trying to run people over. It's GTA style, baby. Grunga.
In a German bug.
Yep.
You know what's funny? Every once in a while, I'll still be like driving down the road, and there'll be like somebody crossing the street, and I'll look at my wife and be like, "Hey, honey, how many points would I get for him?"
I think we've all played that game.
Yeah, and she goes, "Nick, that's terrible. That's awful." 20. She's a savage. Speaking of savages, also joining us here in the studios, we walked out to the mound, hit the right arm, called the bullpen on this one. Mitch coming in relief of Andy. Mitch, what's going on, my friend?
Hey,
how we doing?
it's nice replacing me today.
Yep, I'm replacing the guy that's
Oh my god! Oh my god! No, we're replacing Ricky. Jesus Christ!
Hey, there's another Andy that we haven't introduced
God,
yet.
I'm sorry. My son's been out all week, and I feel like I haven't slept in like 6 days. I guess we're replacing Ricky on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, Ricky's out. Mitch taking his place. Mitch, what's happening?
Nothing much, man. Playing a couple video games. I just 100%ed Starfield yesterday.
Oh my god!
Yes.
100. Oh, wait, how long has that game been out? Like 6 weeks?
It came out at the beginning of September, like September 4th, roughly.
Did you 100%? I thought that game was
Dedication.
huge.
Have you played it yet?
No,
It's not as big as you think.
that's what she said. But seriously, ignore my subtle jab there. Like, you 100%ed. Oh God, why am I keep getting Starfield and No Man's Sky like mixed up in my mind. Like,
basically the same.
see, that's what people were saying. That's why I was getting mixed up, because they're like, it's basically the same game.
Yeah, all the achievements unlocked. I've done all them. There's some like repetitive ones, like, hey, kind of like another constellation needs our help type deal. So you do some of those, but yeah,
Another settlement needs your help.
another one. Yeah. Otherwise, I've been playing Separate Ways DLC for Resident Evil 4 and working out, twerking out, drinking with Andy. You know,
Singing karaoke. Some Backstreet Boys.
Monster Mash.
Monster Mash. I was working in the lab late one night. Getting copyright strikes.
He did them.
That was one of the best episodes of Cheers, whenever they got into the bar fight and they were getting pranked, and they kept getting pranked with the song The Monster Mash, and every time they picked up the phone, the Monster Mash would just start playing, and eventually, like, anytime they picked up the phone, even if it wasn't ringing, it was still playing. because Gary's Old Town Tavern had like wired it up to play the Monster Mash in their phone.
Do you have a favorite Halloween TV show besides Simpsons Treehouse of Horror?
Like an individual Halloween episode?
Just like a TV series that always had like a Halloween episode. I always think of like Home Improvement because they always did. They always dressed up for Halloween.
God, fuck Home Improvement. No, I'm sorry. No, I shouldn't say that. Not fuck Home Improvement, but fuck Home Improvement Power Tool Pursuit of the video game. I will never not say fuck that game. God, that game is a trash can fire. Every single time somebody on Twitch is like, "Oh, easy."
Did I drop any? No party foul. We're good. I almost dropped my phone.
Oh, God, rookie over here. Right. This is your first time on the podcast or something.
You know, it might be. It might not be.
Damn, son. Almost spilling your mics. We're all drinking mics hard, by the way. Yeah. Andy, not so much, because I guess they are both kind of not so much because they're both nursing hangovers.
I'm not.
I definitely am.
I'm young. I can bounce back. He takes about 2 to 5 business days to get back with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's.
Unfortunately, it's a Saturday today, so.
Yep.
Welcome to passing 30, kid. Enjoy it while it lasts. You could bounce back the next night. It's like I drink like half a bottle of that, which is brew wine.
Yeah.
God, I was out.
Tanked.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't tanked. It was just like the next day I wasn't like hungover, but I was just like, I don't want to move.
Lethargic.
I just want to go to the couch, and then of course. I go to sit on the couch. I'm like, oh, this is great. And I met with, can we watch Paw Patrol? Fuck.
Yes, of course.
They're going to listen to this podcast later in life and be like, you didn't like Paw Patrol? Dad. Cancel the podcast.
I will say we did go see, for the first time in about 7 to 10 years, I actually sat foot inside a movie theater, and we went to go see the new Paw Patrol movie.
Was it good at least?
It wasn't as good as the first one.
Okay. There's a sequel?
Yeah, this is the Paw Patrol, like they're all charged up or whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, they all get superpowers from a comet. Like, it's pretty sweet.
Oh, of course.
Oh, cool.
But the first one was actually had some, I don't know, it had like some subtle like
hidden adult jokes kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
kind of where it's like, it's like the adults have always wondered, how does Ryder get all the money for all this stuff? And he goes, hell, Ryder, how'd you get all the money for all this? And he just goes, Paw Patrol merchandise. This stuff sells like hotcakes. just like little jabs like that. But all right. So Mitch is playing and 100%ing Starfield. God, good GGs. What about you over there?
Still chipping away at Zelda. Just chipping away.
Nice. How far are you getting from 100%ing it?
Not as close.
I'm not gonna 100% that game. Like, screw all those Korok seeds. Like, I'm gonna get the shrines and then probably beat Ganon and call it a day.
There you go. So you were like, it's like one of those like, this is taking way too long, but at least you're sticking to it because we're doing a Bethesda episode today, and there's a Bethesda game I want to kind of bring up that I got way into it but made zero progress. And I think I've said it before.
Yeah, let's say that's pretty much every Bethesda game.
I don't know. I did beat. Like, we'll get to that. We'll get to those later. But we got to get your guys' game first. So, I is a dis or is a dat? Mitch and Andy had to choose. There we go. I had to make sure I get the names right. Since apparently I'm not getting
Andy.
It's Andy and Andy in the mornings.
So your category for today is Red Zone. Red Zone never changes.
Oh, Let's see where this is going.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you a list of 7 names. You have to tell me if each of the names on the list is either a famous Bethesda character.
Oh, okay.
Or a current NCAA Division I college football head coach.
Head coach.
Football. Mitch might have this because he's a football nerd.
I follow more pro ball, so college is a little out of my range, but
now here's what's going to make this game a little interesting. There is at least one both.
Oh, okay.
On the list.
Okay. At least one. That's tricky. They're all both now.
There is at least I'll tell you that. They're not all both. There is at least one. There's at least one both. And you have to say either or Bethesda, college book coach, or both. And you only get credit for the both if you nail it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, or them, or them.
Do we get a point if we just say one and that's technically correct, or is it
No.
two? Okay.
Nope. You got to
have to
get.
guess the
Have to
both.
give.
You have to
Okay.
guess the both
All right.
or both's plural.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
There's several possibility both.
There's several. There might be more than one on this list.
I don't like those words.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And you've never been here before, but you keep your own score.
Okay.
Capiche? All right, good.
Kaposh.
All right, good. All right, number 1, Malzahn.
That's 100% Bethesda character.
I'll agree because he seems pretty confident in his answer.
It is the current head coach of UCF Knights.
What did you do to me?
Used to be the head coach of the University of Auburn too. Gus Malzahn. Damn, son, you are so sure about that.
Listen, I've played enough Skyrim to know what that last name is. I've ran into that town, I swear.
You flew in from the top ropes like fucking
Yeah.
Sting, and you were like,
And then I got RKO'd out of nowhere.
yeah, you're in my house now, punk ass.
All right.
0 for 0. Number 2, Mora. Mora. Mora.
I can't go wrong with Bethesda again, can I?
I'm going to use my both on this one.
You would be correct, Andy.
Wow.
It is a both.
I
Yes.
did debate on it.
Hermaeus Mora is a Daedric prince from the Oblivion Skyrim series, and
Got that from.
Jim Mora is the head coach of the Yukon Huskies. Number 3, Haskell.
Why, you little Haskell?
I'm gonna double down on Andy and say that's a both.
Okay.
I'm going with the coach.
It is a Bethesda game
Oh.
character, the Chamberlain of Sheogorath. Wonderful. Celebration. Cheese. Everyone. There you go.
I just want one of these. I just want to get one right.
Well, I'm winning so far.
Yeah, so Andy is leading with 1
One.
point.
No,
No.
you got the both.
Yeah, you got the
Okay.
both.
Yeah.
And that's the one you got the 1 point with.
That should count for double.
No.
Okay.
Number 4, Lucas Sims.
Oh, that's Fallout.
Andy seemed pretty confident, so I'm gonna piggyback.
He's the
on that.
dude that says to go to the other place. There's another settlement that needs your help.
Is it him?
I'm like 80% sure it's that
Another
guy.
settlement needs our help.
He is the mayor of Megaton.
Oh,
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I was
So
gonna say that doesn't sound right.
he was an important character, but I don't think he wasn't. It was Lucas Garvey.
oh, okay.
Lucas Garvey was the another settlement need your help
Gotcha.
guy, and then you just tell him just to suck it. I'm going to Boston.
I did that like 12 other settlements because I didn't know. I thought this like a continuing like when's the end of this stupid thing? And then I was
Oh.
like, this is. And then I realized, oh, it's just it never ended.
I'm not gonna lie. I dedicated a good 2 days worth of my life to finding an end of these settlements, and I was mistaken. There is
Yeah.
no end.
Yeah, exactly.
You always need your help.
You've got to. You see, it's not like okay. Since it is Halloween time, I'm going to drop a non-Bethesda game that I really love to play on Halloween. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare.
That's
Nice.
a good.
There
DLC game.
is an achievement in that game. If you have all of the cities, like Blackwater and Armadillo and all of them, if you have all of them free from zombies at the same time, you get an achievement. It's called Spinning Plates.
That seems like a highly dedication achievement.
Yes, and it's one of the coolest achievements I have.
That'd be what I'm proud of, right?
Yeah, you literally have to keep them all zombie free at the same time. Well, I think that's one of the very few games I 100%ed because I got all 4 Horses of the Apocalypse.
Nice.
But that game is real. That version of that game is really super hard if you never played it.
yeah.
I would 1,000% recommend it because the thing about it is like none of the stores are open, so any ammunition that you get, you've gotta baby it. Like you have to take care of your ammunition and anything that you get because this, like I said, the stores are closed and you can't even get in to like loot them or anything.
So don't you get it off the dead bodies or something like that?
Yes, yeah, you get it off dead bodies and stuff like that. And some of the zombies actually have some stuff on them too. So, yeah, but if you keep all of the settlements and cities at the same time zombie free, then you get the Spinning Plates achievement.
Neat.
My personal favorite. Okay, where were we? We're at number 5.
Lucas.
Yeah, we're
is
talking
awesome.
about Lucas Garvey or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah, another settlement need your help. Number 5, Narduzzi.
That's got to be a head coach.
I will agree.
Yes, it is head coach. Head coach of the Pitt Panthers.
Keep my lead.
That's called cheating. I got one. I win. I win in my own sense.
There you go. I don't know, man. Ricky got blanked one time.
Really?
Was it the Madonna one that Ricky got blanked?
He swept.
Oh, he swept the Madonna one.
And he swept the last podcast too.
That is right. I don't know. There was one where I think you got blanked. That's what it was. Yeah. Well, now you might win this one. Number 6, Dervinen.
I'm gonna do both on that one.
Okay.
I'm going 2 as well because that definitely sounds like a Skyrim character, but I feel like it's a trick.
Sounds like an Oblivion character.
He just Bethesda, the High Priest of Bliss in New Sheoth? I don't know. Please direct all angry inquiries to retrosmash@gmail.com. And number 7, Butch.
Well,
Okay, that can go. That's a both, in my opinion.
Well, Butch, I'm pretty sure Butch is the kid that's in the shelter with you in Fallout 3.
I couldn't think of what school, but I know there's a handful of people that go by Butch that are coaches.
I'm going to both.
Yes, you would both be correct with that. Fallout 3, Tunnel Snakes.
Tunnel Snakes.
Right after, you save his mom.
Yeah.
The tunnel snakes in here.
Or you just beat him up with a baseball bat and steal his jacket.
Good
Yes.
karma.
Yeah, you're not taking my sweet roll. Just beat the hell out of him. Yes, Fallout 3, Tunnel Snakes leader, and Butch Jones, the head coach of the Arkansas State Red Wolves. Go Red Wolves.
I win.
Yeah, I got 2. What'd you get? 3?
Yep.
Sweet. I made it interesting, at least.
See, it's the when you throw the boths in there, as I'm like burping up Mike's hard. You throw the boths in there. That's what makes it fun. Okay, so before we get going, Mitch, you got to do a little introduction stuff. So we ask every new person that comes on the podcast the same 2 questions. First of all, what would you consider? Like I say, if you want to just do a couple sentences to introduce yourself, what kind of games you play, and then we'll ask you the 2 questions. So, what kind of games do you play? How old are you, and what qualifies you to be on a retro podcast? Because I know the answer to this question, but I just want you to say it for everybody else.
Okay. My name is Mitch. I am 22 years old.
Let's not use our full name.
My name is Senor
My social security number is
7. No, I'm just kidding.
The back 3 numbers of my credit card are 139.
Peggy, get the propane serial number. Anyway, I am 22. I believe a retro game is defined as a game that would be old enough to drive today if you were 16 years of age or older. So
Hey, that was my definition.
I've heard that definition from both of you. So.
Hey, I'll take it.
When it comes to video games I like to play, I am a very big story game person, so Bethesda's right up my alley. Love Fallout. I do like a little bit of competitive. Madden's kind of always if I'm bored, I don't want to achievement hunt, I just go for it. Otherwise, my favorite thing to do is achievement hunt. I love 100% in games, especially if I'm dedicated to it. Obviously, I just 100% Starfield and working on Resident Evil 4 right now, and Resident Evil 4 is my top game series ever. Thank my brother for getting me into that one, but if there's a Resident Evil game, you better believe it's going to get 100%ed.
Nice. And since you already answered question number 1, I was going to ask you, what would you consider a retro game?
Okay.
Question number 2, you are a burglar, but you break into houses.
Let's go the other way.
I love this question. You're a burglar, but you break into houses and you only take things that slightly inconvenience your victims. What are you taking? Or what are you doing? Because I know Ari was on here and she said she was tying shoestrings together, which was a good answer.
Something that would just be like a slight inconvenience to somebody?
Yeah, so she said tying shoestrings together. I said taking the middle, like the racks out of the oven, like
that would be
taking racks out of the oven. Yeah. Somebody said taking like the toilet paper tubes. Was that you?
No, I think that was Ricky or Sertet.
I think so. Yeah. So, yeah, toilet paper tubes. But yeah, something that isn't like gigantic, I thought of one the other day. Taking this, and it doesn't happen anymore because everything's like connected to the internet. But back in the day, like satellite, like DirecTV and Dish, they used to have SIM cards. Taking the SIM cards out.
Suck.
This is the definition of first world problem, by the way. Taking the SIM cards out of the Dish or DirecTV. That's how my dad used to like make sure we weren't watching TV if we were in trouble. He would take the SIM card with him, and that was a long day. Yeah. So yeah, stuff like that. Just slightly inconvenient. You don't have to take anything. You can just tie shoestrings together, but you can't kill them. Like I'm gonna disconnect their gas line.
How about that? I mean, a couple of things, just because I recently had to do this myself. I probably would take the little line connector to your toilet flush, so you can't flush, and then you gotta go get another line. Either that, or I would take your sugar and spices, and I'd switch them up. So salt would be sugar, pepper would be brown sugar, stuff like that. Switch all that around, so whenever you go to make, I don't know, hamburger helper, and you're salt and pepper. Oh, I got sugar and brown cinnamon or whatever. So yeah, I think that'd be a bit idea.
Taking the labels off of the cans would be a good one.
Yeah, I think we had said that. I saw that picture one time where somebody got mad at their parents, and they took all the labels off of all of the canned goods.
Or I'd go into their candy jar and take all their Reese Pieces, Skittles, any like little shaped candy like that, and put them all in one bowl. So you don't know what you're getting.
That's too bad. I mean, if you've never, that happened to us one time. We were at like a Christmas gathering, and we had somebody had put like Skittles and Reese's Pieces in the same bowl. That happened because they didn't know. And of course, I'm like, oh, that's awful. And then of course I tried a handful, and I'm like, this actually isn't completely terrible.
Fruity peanut butter.
Yeah,
it's tasting the rainbow. You're getting that.
Yeah, fruit. Yeah. It's like fruity chocolate. It was like the weirdest thing. I'm like, if there's anything that's gonna be like more Christmassy than like fruit cake kind of thing. The old Jim Gaffigan joke. Fruit good, cake great, fruit cake nasty crap.
I know you play retro games, obviously, but is there any new games coming out that you're looking forward to?
No.
None.
Podcast is over.
No, I'm really looking forward to the new Super Mario 2D game.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Just for nefarious reasons, I want to speedrun it. Because I can speedrun Super Mario World, so I want to speedrun that.
Yeah.
And but that sucks. You shouldn't. Let this be a lesson to you kids, because you shouldn't buy a game just to speedrun it.
And you shouldn't buy games just 100% them. What do you got to add, Andy?
Well, that's exactly why you buy games to 100% it. But you know my record with 100%ing games. I'm trying to think of like all the games that I've 100%ed in my life. I think Spyro 2 is one.
Toy Story for the PlayStation 3. It's the only game I ever 100%ed.
I did 100% Twisted Metal Black.
Okay.
But I had the game guide to help me out with that. But I did 100. I beat that with every character, and I found all the unlockables. So I found everything in the game. And Rugrats Search for Reptar.
Nice.
Hey, you laugh, but the mini golf game in that is so fucking hard. Like the rest of the game is like, oh, this is cake. It's made for kids. But apparently, whoever made the mini golf session, it was like made by a fucking Harvard like astrophysicist.
Oh my!
There's a bull hole in that where it's like if you can go like hit the curve just right and get a hole in one, but like if you land at the bottom, it's done. Like you're not hitting it out with one of the kids because you play as each of the kids.
What about you, Andy? I know we shared that you're not as looking forward to Starfield because of my distaste, but
not just your distaste. It was like.
Listen
to Victory Chiefs, listen to them talk about it. I'm just like, oh boy, maybe I don't want to get this game. So I'm really debating on just getting No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk, and because I've not played those either. So I was like, maybe I'll just do that.
Do they still have demos for those?
I
don't know.
I think No Man's Sky is a demo. I don't think Cyberpunk does.
Okay.
Oh, like I know sometimes demos are still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one thing I loved about Mega Man 11. Like they gave you an entire stage as a demo. They gave you Blockman stage as the demo.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I loved it. I think I played that so many times, and that was actually a pretty hard fight. But I love the fact that they gave you an entire stage for just demo purposes.
I bought my Xbox One X solely so I could play Resident Evil 4, the new one that just came out within the last 2 years, and they had a demo for it, and you get to play the entire village scene where like you have to fend off from the chainsaw or Dr. Salvador, and it's really neat. And then there's like a little Easter egg. I think if you die a certain way or in a certain spot, you unlock like ultra Dr. Salvatore mode, and he's like all red, and he like is constantly swinging and constantly coming at you, and it was impossible. You couldn't beat it, but
Jesus.
it was a nice little like, oh shit.
Let's hop straight into it. We're going to talk a little bit today about it's a little
It's a little past 4. I don't know the rest of the song.
It's 1:15.
There you go.
I'm a little drunk and I need Bethesda.
I need both ends. Is that what you said?
Bethesda. I need Bethesda.
Oh, I thought you said I need both ends.
Yep. That's what I found under the mattress. Hey.
So we're going to talk about Bethesda games here. I'm looking online just to kind of course, I always do like top 10 lists, like every Bethesda Game Studios game ranked from thegamer.com.
Is there more than 10, not including Skyrim remakes?
There's a ton of Bethesda games. If you don't know.
And that's why I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I'm falling in that weird like category where it's like, do you consider like New Vegas a Bethesda game? Because that's like my favorite Bethesda game is New Vegas. But it's like Obsidian. It was a Bethesda like
produced, I thought.
Yeah, it was produced by Bethesda, but it was created by Obsidian Studios.
Yeah.
So it's like, do we consider that?
I would count that.
I would count that.
Okay. So what's your favorite Bethesda game? Andy, let's go first with you. Favorite, like if you had to, like I said, you can do 1 or 2 or 3. Talk about some of your favorite Bethesda memories.
One of the coolest memories I remember was when Fallout Shelter came out, actually. Because we were watching that E3 live, and then they're like, and it's available right now. And we're like, what? No, it isn't. And pull up your phone, and you can download it. And I was like, whoa. But then that game lost its cool after like 2 days.
Yeah.
I don't know, Fallout 3 for sure. Play the living hell out of that. I pissed my one roommate off because I would make myself, maybe it was New Vegas. One of those you can turn yourself into a dummy, and you're just a big lumbering meathead, and you're like, me, no, talk good. And he's like, that's not how you played the game. And I'm like, that's my game.
It's in the game for a reason.
Let me be a big, dumb, bulking idiot that has a sledgehammer.
Mitch, what about you?
One of my earliest memories was taking my brother's copy of Fallout 3, loading it up for the first time, and nuking the Megaton, yeah. And a little story to add with that. A couple years ago, my brother comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, did you ever nuke Megaton?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course, all the time. Like every playthrough I did." He's like, "You are a sick man." And now I have this big poster in my office of the ashes of Megaton. It's like a 1 out of 250 posters made or something, and it's really cool. I have it up in my office, and I'm like, this is one of my greatest memories, is just blowing up Megaton, and then my brother giving me a poster from the ashes of Megaton.
Oh, that's tight.
It's either that or I get to the end of Fallout New Vegas, my save corrupts, and I never beat New Vegas. I never completed the final mission. So that's my story with that one.
Definitely Liberty Prime. I loved that part of the game too, where you finally beat Liberty, or you create him. Well, the one playthrough, whatever. You create him, and then he's just like running down the street with you. You're got like a billion army dudes. You're just blasting everybody, and this giant fucking robot's like, I can't remember what he says, but it's like, I'm Liberty Prime. And he's like blasting lasers and explosives everywhere.
It's the Goodwill version of Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Liberty.
It's been a minute since I've honestly played a like a Fallout game, just because I've been getting more into like Skyrim lately.
Yeah. Well, you got your Garfield run going.
The Garfield run's going well, and if you're not familiar with the Garfield run, you can follow me at twitch.tv/weldytime. I took a couple week hiatus. I might be coming back soon because there might be like a speedrun competition coming up that I got to prepare for, and I'm like, if I'm going to prepare for it, I might as well stream it.
Yeah.
But I was doing a run where I'm playing as a cat. Is it like cat or just Khajiit? Because I know that there's a big difference. When I kept calling it Khajiit, they're like, no, it's not quite a Khajiit.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm playing as an orange cat, and my number one quest for that was I was trying to obtain all of the ingredients needed to make lasagna. So I needed wheat, tomatoes, cheese, of course, like different kinds of ham, different spices, salt, I think was one. Just a bunch of different stuff, and I was just gonna carry that on my person, and then it ended up becoming a whole like very very weldy style Bethesda game playthrough where I just become easily distracted.
Like an actual cat.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. Anytime I play a Bethesda game, I'm just easily distracted, and this is no different.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, every time I pick up a Bethesda, Fallout 3, easily distracted. Fallout New Vegas, easily distracted. Fallout 4, very easily distracted. And now Skyrim, I'm like, nope, I'm actually going to stick to the script. We're going to do our thing. It's going to be great. And then I'm like, not to hell with this. I just want to hunt bounties and go treasure hunting, which is essentially what I do in every game like that. Any open world game like Red Dead, I'm very known for like, I don't want to do any of the storyline. I just want to go treasure hunting and I want to hunt bounties. That's all I want to do.
You said you did play Red Dead 2?
I played a little bit of Red Dead 2. I stopped playing that because I was not a fan.
Yeah, I know. I remember you saying that.
That's the controversy here. I was not a fan of Fallout 2. I loved Fallout 1 to the point where like I think I pumped more hours into that than a lot of other games. I think even some of my favorite games ever. I think I played Red Dead Redemption more than I played any of those, but wasn't a fan of 2. But I don't think I pumped as many hours into that as I did into Fallout 4, because I know Fallout 4 is the ongoing joke is I played 85 hours into Fallout 4, made zero progress.
Another settlement.
Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't another settlement. It was actually I had looked up some like spoilers where it's like, oh, this is basically set in Boston, and you can get to Fenway Park and you can find Cheers, the actual Cheers bar.
Yep.
And
that's another memory.
Yep.
yeah,
Right by that Cheers bar, there's that lake thing in the middle.
Swan Lake.
Yes, and then that stupid giant monster.
Yep.
Swans Lake. Yep.
I told my buddy, I was like, "Yo, check it out. Go over here and go in the shoot one of the swans. A really cool Easter egg happens." He's like, "Fuck you! What the hell is that?"
It's
Yeah,
terrifying.
there's an achievement tied to that place. If you run all the baseball, whatever you call them, the white pads you step on. I can't think of the name. Bases.
Bases.
There you go. Wow, you can't tell I've been to first base in a minute.
Hey.
Anyway, but you run all the bases, you get an achievement. So I thought that was cool. They tied a little achievement to the baseball diamond too for Fenway.
That's neat.
Well, it's actually what the funniest part of that is the retired numbers that are up in Diamonds, in quote unquote Diamond City, and the retired numbers that are actually up at Fenway Park. Only half of them match.
What? That's weird.
Yeah, I looked it up because that was the one reason I wanted to get into like quote unquote Fenway Park is because I wanted to look for very small Easter eggs and stuff like that. And I found the retired numbers, and I'm like, they actually don't match.
I wonder if it was a legal thing. Copyright. I don't know.
They're just numbers. I mean, they can't copyright a number.
I mean, Jordan's 23 is like kind of copyrighted.
Yeah, but you could put a 23, like literally, it's the Red Sox. I mean, I don't remember what numbers they had, but all I know is they didn't match. Well, if they really want to do the copyright thing, they wouldn't let them use fucking Fenway Park. I know they called it Diamond City, but they wouldn't let them use Fenway Park and all of its likeness and you know similarities that are just completely coincidental, as they say at the beginning of every like TV show. You can actually get to the wall actually in that game, right? Because I remember that was one of the things I wanted to actually climb over everything and get to the wall, like to the green monster in that game. But I don't think they called it the green monster. They called it something else. Or just the green wall or something like that. It's been a minute since I played it because it takes up so much space in my hard drive.
Literally. I finally own a 1 terabyte hard drive, and I don't even know what game I downloaded.
Oh,
And it took like 200 something. And I was like, I'm really glad I have a terabyte, but this is kind of insane for one game.
I have a 500 for my One and my Xbox One, and 60 of it belongs to another Bethesda Studios game, the 2016 Doom.
Okay.
My God. That's a game that I didn't actually beat or like go, but like beat all the way through. But that's when you get like 10 hours into it. Like, don't drink caffeine before you play the game.
Yeah.
You're not going to need it.
No,
You're not gonna need
heart's
it.
going to be beating out of your chest playing those games.
Oh, hell yeah. Like that game looked and felt phenomenal.
But yeah,
Think
playing it online is intense too.
Oh, is it? I never played it online. I tried to play it online against people anymore, except for F-099,
Yep.
which I've been playing the hell out of lately.
Yeah, I think 100%ed one or two Doom games too, just for laughter. Just because I was like, screw it, it's on the Game Pass or something. I was like, oh, I'm gonna download it, I'm gonna beat it. And
Shout out Spanky. It's on Game Pass.
it's on Game Pass.
Shout out
Hey,
Spanky.
Microsoft bought Bethesda, so if you're a Bethesda
Shout-
fan, they're all there.
Shout out Victory Achieved Podcast, our friends across the pond. It's on Game Pass. Okay, so we're coming up to a list of every Bethesda game like ever made, and there was someone here that it still shocks the hell out of me every single time I see them. Like there was a couple Wayne Gretzky games that were on here. There were some NHRA drag racing games.
Yep.
I really wish Bethesda would go back and do something like what Rare did.
Do it like a
Rare-
best of kind of
Yes, like the Rare replay may have been one of the best birthday presents I ever gave to myself.
thing. I think you'd have to sell it digitally. I don't think you'd off it in a disc.
You don't you leave off. I mean, obviously anything past like 2009, I think you leave off. But just coming to the list of Bethesda Studio type games, it's amazing what like you don't know that they
had.
Yeah, that they had. So they had here, I think the earliest game that I remember I played NCAA basketball Road to the Final Four. That's the earliest one that I played for this. They had Gridiron, a couple Wayne Gretzky hockeys, Vortex, Escape from Sinja's Castle. Then they got into like a really weird like 80s, 90s like common media theme where it was The Terminator, Home Alone, Where's Waldo, The Terminator 2029, which is coming up soon, so we gotta see if that's kind of accurate. And The Terminator Rampage.
They did like these are
Bethesda. This was
for the NES and stuff.
It says mostly MDOS, Atari, Amiga.
I didn't know they were around that long.
NES, they had Wayne Gretzky Hockey 2 for the NES. They had Home Alone for the NES. Where's Waldo for the NES?
I hated that game. I thought that was an LGN game.
Jeez. We gotta do, that reminds me, we need to do an LGN. We do an LGN Studios episode.
So here's my question with just the list of games you have on there. So those games, if my history's correct, were a lot of before Todd Howard even showed up. So do we think Bethesda would be as much of a powerhouse right now if it was still just ran by Christopher Weaver and Todd Howard had never joined on? Because you can thank Todd Howard for Skyrim, Fallout 3.
Daddy Todd.
Yes. Well, you can tell there's a very, like, even if you're reading this list on here, he was like, I'm going to guess it was probably 2004, 2005, 2006 area where he joined. Because
1996.
Was it really?
Wow.
There you go.
94, sorry, 94.
Be doing your research. Well, that was halfway through because the first Elder Scrolls Arena was in 1994, and then Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall was in 96. But what I was going to say was there's a very like specific line you can tell on this list where it goes like from PBA Tour Bowling, IHRA Drag Racing, let's see, and the line kind of starts like between 2005 2006. That's when they had Oblivion, Call of Cthulhu, Oblivion Travels, Star Wars. They had 4 Star Wars games.
Huh.
Yeah, Encounters, Tactical Assault, Legacy, Conquest. Then they had like Fallout 3. They didn't do the original Fallouts.
Not the 1 and 2, no.
No, I did not know that.
Yep.
Fallout 3, Quake Live, New Vegas, Quake 3 Arena, Brink, Rage, Skyrim, Dishonored, Doom 3, the BFG edition, Doom 1 and 2 re-release, Elder Scrolls Online, Wolfenstein New Order.
I did not care for that game. I played it and it was too linear.
Same. It was good for what it was worth. It was like, you're getting a Wolfenstein. It was like kind of how Doom 3 was. Like it was it tastes like a Wolfenstein game, and it feels like a Wolfenstein game, but there's something.
Yeah, well, it's just not.
Put my finger on it. What it was.
I felt like a generic shooter, in my opinion.
Maybe that's exactly what it was, and it just kind of if it didn't have the Wolfenstein name on it, do you think people would play it? Kind of thing. I think you kind of nailed it. I think we're gonna agree on that.
Probably not. Yeah, if it wasn't Wolfenstein.
It's like the same like Resident Evil 6. Like it had Capcom and Resident Evil slapped on it, so we all bought it, played it, just for it to be a giant dumpster fire of a game. Not saying Wolfenstein was nearly as bad as Resident Evil 6, but the expectation was not the outcome.
Right. And then you get into like stuff we're more familiar with, later, Quake Champions, The Evil Within, Fallout 76, Wolfenstein 2, Doom Eternal, and Doom 2016. Do they call it Doom 2016? Like, what's the official name for it?
It's just Doom.
It's just Doom.
It's referred to as 2016 because that's
well, it's the Twisted Metal thing, because you have the original Twisted Metal, then you have Twisted Metal 2011. It's like, which one are you referring to?
Same thing. Did you ever play 76 after the update with the AI in it?
No.
Okay.
Was that fairly recent, or
it was the past few years?
Are you saying whenever they added the NPCs finally?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I did. All right.
Okay. No, I never. I never did, and never went back to it. I kind of want to just to see how it is, if it was any better. But it was like so, like solitude-ish, like without the NPCs in there.
Yeah, like what? You can't have a Fallout game without the NPCs.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it was an MMO and it was supposed to be the first ever, but quest lines, there was no one you run into. Like,
no, you're just like you and your buddies will just run around and like
kill each other. And,
or we'd go into a warehouse and like scavenge and be like, oh, okay, well, that was that.
I was like, oh, you took that crowbar, I wanted to die.
There's a few moments that I had fun with playing with the buds, but overall, it was, I don't know, I got like 2 weeks worth out of it, and I was like, I'm done with this game.
Did play the hell out of some of the DLC for. I'm looking at the list of games here, and we're coming to the end of like Redfall, Quake 2 Remaster, Starfield, and then coming up, apparently it says Untitled Indiana Jones Project.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be awesome.
Combining with Machine Games, The Elder Scrolls 6, which is coming to you in 2028 if you're still listening to this. Maybe if we're lucky. Fallout 5 and Wolfenstein 3. Out of those 3 games, which one do you think comes out first? Elder Scrolls 6, Fallout 5, or Wolfenstein 3?
Wolfenstein, I think, will be
the
quickest one that's going to be bumped out.
I mean, it also depends on how they're playing that. You said the Indiana Jones Project one. If that's a linear like Wolfenstein, I feel like you'd be excited to push out a brand new project. But they also did just come out with Starfield, so I feel like you're on the right path with Wolfenstein there.
Yeah,
like
it's probably going to be a couple of years for the next any game comes out.
So funny you bring up Starfield. Andy, you haven't played it. I haven't played it. Mitch, you played it. What would you rank that like amongst like, your favorite Bethesda games?
Okay, so it's not number one because I felt like they set a bar of you can explore the entire planet, you can do whatever, and it was huge. There's I think over 130 constellations you can go to, and then there's average of like 7 to 10 planets per one, and like there's a lot to explore, but once you're trying to memorize places, it gets hard to know where you're going, and there's some bugs. It's kind of short in my opinion. I made a joke with Andy. I was like, man, I've completed almost every side activity you can do, and I've only done 2 main story missions. Like this is insane. Like I haven't even played the game that long, I feel like. So I would put like Fallout 3, Fallout 4 neck and neck, New Vegas right there. And I feel like I would probably end up putting the Evil Within games above Starfield, in my opinion.
Really? The Evil Within?
I would put the Evil Within games above it. Just I'm a horror game fan too, so I could just be me being biased. But Starfield wasn't that top tier, in my opinion.
Well, apparently you're in the minority because I'm looking on here. Critical reception, according to Wikipedia, which is the go-to for the Retro Smash Video Game Podcast. Metacritic gave it an 86 on PC and 84 on Xbox Series S. Game Informer, 8.5 out of 10. GameSpot, 7 out of 10. IGN, 7 out of 10. Washington Post, 4 out of 4 stars. Games Radar Plus gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Eurogamer gave it 3 out of 5 stars. So it looks like it's generally favorable reviews.
So like if you were to load up like let's go like Fallout 3, and you were to just play the story missions, how long do you think it would take you to beat that game?
Just story?
Just story. Like, say, screw doing any side stuff. Like, you're just going point A to point B.
Oh, I've seen that game speed run in about probably 20, 30 minutes.
Damn.
That's probably just glitches through the map and whatnot. I'm saying, like, you're doing every single mission. Like, you want the story. You want to watch the story. Because, honestly, I feel like playing the Fallout games, it would take you longer to go through the story. Whereas I feel like you could pop through Starfield's main story in genuinely 3.5 hours of, like, the main story, 3.5 hours tops.
Damn.
That's why I say it was kind of short for what it was.
So you're saying you really hope that the new Indiana Jones game is kind of like The Last of Us, like in the same breath as not open world, as it's just linear, or like a Tomb Raider kind of thing.
I would appreciate if it was like a Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it's probably going to be. Did you ever play that? There was a Indiana Jones for the Xbox that came out
Lego
quite
Indiana
a while
Jones.
ago. That was pretty fun. I can't remember the name of it.
I think the only Indiana Jones game I played was the Lego one.
Oh, okay.
So I
No.
I can't relate.
Actually, same. Okay, so for those of you keeping score at home, Fallout 3, any percent, current world record 14 minutes 6 seconds.
Is that without?
That has to be
Glitches?
glitches.
That is
through
that's
the
with
map.
glitches.
Okay.
However, glitchless, I was closer, 39 minutes 57 seconds.
Damn.
I don't know. I mean, I'm talking like you're literally doing every single mission. I feel like there's got to be a glitch to that.
Well, there's not. You don't have to do every mission in Fallout. You can eventually just go to the dude.
I guess you're right. So I kind of set myself up for. You could literally just go to the water testing plant and
Yeah.
hey, Dad, what are you doing?
Yep.
Oh, game over.
Spoilers. Okay.
I really
Funny you should say that, because there is a all quest / DLC quest / bobbleheads for glitchless. No runs found.
Huh.
However,
There you go.
guess what I'm doing.
well, for any percent for those, which means with glitches, you would have to beat Spicy Tacos out of Sweden, 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 55 seconds. That is full of glitches.
Dang. Well, my whole point of that question was, if you were just loading up Fallout wanting to play the story, I feel like it would take you a few more
days.
a couple days maybe. I mean, obviously the hour increments, but
Yeah.
like to get through the story genuinely, I feel like Starfield
Probably
I could
good
load it up start
20,
to
30
finish
hours.
within a sitting, like one sitting. I feel like I could genuinely just pop through the game.
But does that really appeal to? I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this, because you got games like GTA 5 that, how long does the story on that really take? It's just people get sidetracked. Like, they're banking on
Yeah.
the fact that people get sidetracked. If there's somebody that just buys the game and wants to play, because there are people out there. There are gamers out there that buy it and just want to play the story.
Yeah, I think
You
you
just got to know what happens.
reviewers and stuff like that too, where they have to beat the game as fast as they can because they got other games to review.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's fair, but that's why I would be a bad game reviewer, because I'm easily sidetracked.
Honestly, after I beat a game, I have to watch a review video of what the story was, because sometimes I don't. It just goes over my head because I'm so determined to get that 100% or finish it. Because we all work. We can't sit down and play video games
Right.
16 hours a day like
I
we
wish.
want to.
I wish.
I-
I'd beat Zelda by now.
Sometimes I feel like the meme where it's Squidward, he walks out with his lawn chair, and then he packs up the lawn chair and walks away. Me walking out the lawn chair is seeing how, watching a review video, seeing how a story for a game ends, and then hearing, quote, "There are 16 possible different endings," and I just kind of walk away.
Yep, never mind.
I'm like, no, I ain't got time
Which
for
one's
this.
canon?
Man.
Which one's gonna roll over to the next game?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one's the dog controls everything ending?
Yep.
Spoilers.
Sorry, if you haven't beaten any of these games, get off,
These retro games.
get off of the red. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Don't.
Come back.
No,
buddy.
First you cough on our podcast all over the place. Now you're telling people not to listen.
I'm kidding.
Damn.
I'm just saying if they haven't beat it.
Damn, banned,
You're right.
ban hammer.
It was nice meeting you guys.
Yeah. Okay, so Desert Island, you get to take 3 Bethesda games all time with you to the Desert Island. What are you taking? Mitch, you go first.
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay. 3 games. I'm taking New Vegas. That was good for its time of coming out. I'm gonna take Skyrim, and then I mean those are two big open world games. I feel like this is just because I really haven't played it. I'm gonna take Prey.
Ooh,
I haven't played Prey, so I'd take Prey.
Andrew.
I was kind of thinking Doom 2016. That game ruled, but it was short, and I think after I play it like 2 times, I'll be like, okay, well, done with that. Otherwise, yeah, probably Fallout. I don't know, Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, one of those. I think I got more out of Fallout 4 than I did 3. And then I've never played Skyrim, so I'm going to toss that in there. I've somehow, some way, I've never played Skyrim. I don't know how I've not managed to do that yet.
You're awake.
Yeah, I mean, even I played that. Like, I made fun of people because I'm like, I've never played Skyrim. I've never played that game. And then I just happened to play it one day for Babel's birthday just to mess with her a little bit. And then, like, I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't. It was so much fun. But, of course, I kept using the phrase, this is probably not how everybody else played it. And then people are like, listen, these are games you play however the hell you want.
Yep.
And that's what I think I like about a lot of these like open world style games. That's what Bethesda does right. Now get rid of like the glitches and everything and the crashes and
some of those glitches are fun.
Your game is corrupt. No, you can keep those, you can get rid of them all you want, but that's just what makes them fun.
Yeah.
Like if I had to take my 3, this is where I'm kind of in the same breath. Like I'm going to take Doom 2016. I'm going to take Skyrim because actually I'm going to take Skyrim and all the Skyrim DLC.
He one-upped us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I want to take New Vegas and all of its DLC, but man, you want to talk about one DLC I really, really liked from Bethesda? The Far Harbor DLC for Fallout 4. Yep. God, that was like a whole new game. That was like like they could have released just that game like like what Rockstar did with Undead Nightmare. They could have packaged it separately and sold it for $20.
Yep.
Like honestly, it's like, hey, you don't necessarily have to have Fallout 4, but this is just like diet caffeine free caffeine free Fallout 4.
Nuka World was pretty fun too.
Oh, see, I never played Nuka World.
Yeah,
Nuka World is really good if you really understand the story of the full spectrum of Fallout.
Yeah,
like the whole story even goes back to before they made 3 and like when I don't remember the other studio that made 1 and 2 off right hand, but those guys they like tied that story to this, and Nuka World kind of helps close that in a sense. So spoilers. But like you find the head of somebody there. I don't remember the guy's name, but he was a big reason why the entire bombs dropped, why the war was going on, what led to everything, and like.
Oh yeah, it's like making fun of the Disney Frozen head.
Yeah,
but it was the head of.
They don't put it in a jar and it's still talking like in Futurama.
Yeah, that's why I like Nuka World, but Far Harbor's definitely, I think, top DLC of a Bethesda game ever. That or the Pit. For 76.
Oh yeah, Pittsburgh. Yep.
Yeah, I did like the pick. Screw Operation Anchorage, by the way. To hell with that. I hated that so much because like
boring.
I waited until because I was one of those gamers that I waited until 10 years after the fact for Fallout 3 and then just bought the Game of the Year edition for like $7.
Like
yeah, it was like, hey man, we got your these 360 games. You want this? I'm like, hell yeah! I got a whole weekend to burn. So yeah, I did that, and I played the Pit, and I played Operation Anchorage, and God, like the Pit was fun. Operation Anchorage sucked, but I think like Far Harbor is still my favorite DLC for any of those. So before we close out the whole Bethesda thing, is there anything you want to see from them coming up besides for anything? Like, do you want to see them try to get back into sports? Do you want to see them have they completely gone out? Because I know the last like sports type game they put out really was an NHRA game, like back in like 2011, I believe.
I'd like them to get back to the original Fallout, like Fallout 3, Fallout 4 type of games. Like 76 was, I had such high expectations. I was like, this kind of blows.
Yep.
And then apparently Starfield doesn't sound that fun from what I'm hearing.
Oh.
So I'm kind of like, do I want to bother getting this? I heard you're better off getting Cyberpunk than you are Starfield. That was coming from the Victory Chief guys from their last podcast.
I think when it comes down to what I want to see at Bethesda is I know they do like a whole different bunch of stuff from open world to linear story to horror to stealth games. Like I love all that. I'd love another genuine horror game. Like I want something new. Like either
That'd be fun.
I'd even take a new Evil Within just because I'm being biased, but I think they could do a really good like
Horror
how they
game.
just did Dead Space remake. I think it'd be sweet to see Bethesda try something like that.
Yeah.
Like I know that there are some studios that are taking over major names. Like I'm looking right at Silent Hill F.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I cannot. Like I'm not a big Silent Hill fan. Like I did like 2. I kind of liked 3 a little bit. You know, like the storyline is intriguing. It's nothing that I would go back and play. But for some reason, just seeing the previews for Silent Hill F have just really caught my attention. But it's not the same studio. Like, do you think Bethesda could ever step into a market like that, like a horror market, and maybe take over like a famous, like what about like Splatterhouse? Or so I'm just kind of throwing out like, you know, like maybe old like horror series that people have just completely disregarded. Splatterhouse is one that just immediately came to mind.
Do we want to bring back Manhunt?
That's, you know what?
Yeah.
That's a good point. Like, do you think they could you're talking about wanting a horror game. This is just you saying, "Hey, Bethesda, let's try this."
Yeah, I would love to see Bethesda do a Manhunt. Putting that idea together would be really cool to go through. Yeah.
Or if they did something just like the new Resident Evil where you're the giant babies attacking you and whatever else.
That actually terrified me the first time I encountered that.
Giant babies attacking you. Been there, done that.
The baby.
I will say, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really not anticipating seeing Fallout 5 or Elder Scrolls 6 or anything
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel
until the next console round of consoles comes out. The next gen, probably 2025, 2026 area.
I think they said it's going to be about 10 years before 5 comes out. Fallout 5.
oh damn.
Announced it 10 years ago.
I don't know. I remember, I feel like I recently read a post where like, yeah, if you Fallout 5 in about 10 years. And I was like, all right, cool.
We're not even going to be alive in 10
Like,
years. What?
Nope.
God.
Nope.
And that's my nursing home
Yeah,
playlist.
you will literally be in the nursing home by the time it comes out.
Jesus. Terrible. Happy time, people.
Yay.
Mitch is like, what the hell are you talking about?
Happy
Apparently
time.
somebody doesn't listen to our podcast.
I listened to 2 episodes before. Before this, sorry, like right before this, like kind of make sure I got an
I
idea.
listened to 7 seconds on the way over here just so I knew what was going
I
on.
listened to ESRB and I've had it.
Yeah, that's, you know,
I've had it. No.
I don't play. That's one where it got a little we got I'm gonna shout out to Bersker Kamikaze who wrote us about that, and I gotta get back to him about that. But thank you, Bersker, for listening to the podcast. But yeah, happy time, people. We're gonna do a couple that are a little more recent, but it's in the same realm of the retro world. Happy 5th anniversary, Mega Man 11.
5 years?
Yeah, like God.
Feel that long.
Oh God, if I had a nickel. Worldwide, October 2nd, 2018. That was the first, because I'd gotten really into Mega Man like around the 2015, 2016 range, and I'm like, oh, I heard they're gonna come out with another one. So this is the first one I actually sat down at midnight, bought it, no spoilers, and tried to find the ideal robot master order. Like it took me like 5 or 6 hours to play through the whole game.
Damn.
Yeah. And I actually, you know, like I didn't look it up because all the other ones like, oh, you do, you know, this robot master, then this is the ideal order. It's like, nope, I'm not going to look it up. I'm going to do this the old fashioned way. And I did. And it was so rewarding. Happy 10th anniversary Pokemon X and Y, released worldwide October 12th, 2013. What was the latest Pokemon game you guys played?
I am gonna say Violet, maybe. I can't remember which one I just recently bought for the Switch. It's either like Pearl or Violet or something. I can't remember.
Mine is Pokemon Go.
Attaboy.
Pokemon Go.
Gosh,
Attaboy.
Pokemon Go. I'm okay.
Make sure you go Pokemon Go to the voting.
Stop. Stop.
Here's the thing with Here's the problem I have with Pokemon Go. So when my wife and I were first married, we lived in an apartment.
Was there a second time?
What? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, when we were very first married, we had an apartment downtown city where we live, and it was right next to like a Pokestop because apparently what happened was there were kids that were playing it like late at night, and they kept going over to there's like a museum that was right next door.
Yeah.
And in the back of the museum, there's floodlights. And every time there was like a Pokestop over there because I played Pokemon Go for about 6 minutes, and then realized it took up too much space on my phone. It was fun, but there's a Pokestop like right next door, so there would be kids like wandering around and turn on the floodlights, and the alarms would be going off inside. And we didn't hear it, but apparently like our landlords heard it. Like, what? They stopped me one day. Like, do you see people out there walking around? I'm like, yeah, I see tons of people walking around. It's a Pokemon Go stop. They're like, a Pokemon what? I'm like, oh,
Like, you got to be the very best. Come on.
yeah, no one ever was exactly. But yeah, they kept setting off the floodlights, which was setting off the alarms, and they're like, what the hell's going on over there? Like, do you see anybody walking around late at night?
No one's walking around in this town. This town isn't meant for walking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm gonna shake my old man shakes fist at sky. That's essentially what it was. It was like they were really upset. They were trying to figure out. They're like, is somebody trying to break into our museum? Like,
Yes, we're trying to
and
steal
I'm like, listen, nobody's breaking into the museum. It's a bunch of kids. They're out at 2 a.m. and they're playing Pokemon Go.
I got those classic artifacts that Indiana Jones collected from the Temple of Doom.
It belongs to the museum.
The store
I didn't
lights.
kill my wife. Oh, wrong Harrison Ford movie. I didn't kill my wife. Wrong Harrison Ford movie. Shout out Erebabble on this one. Happy 30th anniversary Shining Force 2.
Hey.
Actually, 30th anniversary in Japan was released October 1st, 93. I told her that she was going to get a shout out for this episode, and then she reminded me that it was actually released in North America 1 year and 18 days later on October 19th, 1994. So we're rounding the 29th anniversary for that here in North America.
Hey, it counts.
How about that?
By the time this episode's out, it'll be around that time.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, it is going to be a few weeks, isn't it? Yeah, shout out for that. I do have a Happy Trails here. Happy Trails, the 3DS and Wii U online services. Tweet from Nintendo of America, October 4th.
You mean a X post?
Yeah.
No, I mean a tweet. Shut up. As of early April 2024, online play and other functionality that uses online communication will end service for Nintendo 3DS and Wii U software. Thank you very much for your continued support of our products.
Well, I guess you can't go back and play those old games.
I know, which sucks. Now I got to emulate them, which is gonna piss off Nintendo even more.
Yeah, just don't stream it.
yeah. Well, I do what I want. It's my own damn stream. I'll do what I want.
How about that?
All right, Mitch, thank you for hanging out with us today. You got any last words? I don't care. Andy,
Hey,
Make sure to send us some emails, retrosmashed@gmail.com. Mitch, where can they find you at?
they can find me at your mom's house.
that was.
They can find me back here next episode.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I won't push my luck.
Maybe we'll have you back here. Totally not editing this in. Mitch, where can they find you on Twitch?
You can find me at Liquidukes with a 1 instead of the I because somebody stole my name at twitch.com. So Liquidukes.
That's a very long name.
Liquidukes.
with a one instead of an I because someone stole my name.
Yep.
That's-
I once
that's
had
the name.
MySpace. No. Liquidukes at twitch.tv.
That's almost as good as I once had MySpace.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who kind of jerk ass made that up?
Yep.
Where can they find you, Mr. Weldy?
They can find me at WeldyTime1 on X or Twitter or whatever. I don't know. Every time I say it wrong, you yell at me. So they can find me at WeldyTime1 on Twitter. They can find me at WeldyTime on YouTube, where all my recent speedruns will go, which I should be adding more here soon because I'm looking to join another speedrun competition. Instead of doing like it's like the Super 16, but it's only 5 games instead of 16, so it should be a little less detrimental to my mental well-being. And I have entered into a through Zombies Ate My Neighbors into a horror marathon too.
Nice.
So I'm gonna see if that gets in. So I'll have plenty of stuff to speed run on Twitch, my twitch.tv/WellDayTime as well. So hopefully we will see you kids there, and we will see you all next time. Good night, Canada. As I'm burping up my start. Good night, Canada.